Two questions. What are you doing and why are you doing it? I think it's very important to ask yourself these questions and see what you say. See how you respond to those questions to get context in the direction of your life. So if you say, I'm doing something and the reason why I'm doing it is because of somebody else, or I'm doing something and the reason why I'm doing it is because I have to, I have no other choice, or something like that, there's some kind of external factor which is driving you, then it might give you context on how autonomous your life is, how much you're driving your life and how much other people are driving your life. And you think about that and evaluate it based on your goals, your needs, and your short-term situation and long-term. And I think it's important to understand what in what context you're competing in, you know. So like say is in the context of business and career, what hierarchy are you a part of? And do you want to be at the top of that hierarchy? Or is it just a temporary position in which you're in a hierarchy, but it's just a temporary step? You don't want to continue up that ladder of that hierarchy. So you might say, I mean, in my particular case, I suggest people don't compete in a hierarchy that they don't want to be at the top of, because unless they know for sure that it's a temporary position and it's a temporary thing and they have a long-term goal to get out of it, and they know it's temporary. Because I think what people do is they don't really understand. They get into a position in a career or a job or a direction, and they don't really understand what that is in relationship to other things. You know, they have to look. You have to really understand the hierarchy in what you are a part of. There's always hierarchies in business and in life in general, and you want to be in the hierarchy in which you want to be at the top, you know, and you're not at the top yet, and you're driving and striving for that higher position. That way you have growth potential. You know, you're not stuck in a dead-end job or a dead-end position or a dead-end situation where you're just there and there's no room for growth whatsoever. You want to be in a hierarchy, in a position or a situation in which you have growth potential. You know, you're climbing the hill, you're not standing still. So yeah, don't compete. I mean, normally, you know, you just have to think about it. Normally, you don't want to compete in a hierarchy that you would not want to be at the top of, or you don't want to be at the top of. Very important things to think about and consider to evaluate the context of where you're at and where you're headed. And, you know, so the original questions are, what are you doing now? And why are you doing it? You know, very important to contemplate this. And it's not like a 5-minute thought to think about these. These are things you have to constantly think about, you know, for weeks, months, because they're very deep issues. And we have to reevaluate our past, our future, our present, constantly seeing it from different perspectives and angles. And it's an ongoing thing. So, you know, trying to evaluate the direction, where you're at and where you're headed, and your direction, your aim in life is very important to get right, especially as early as you can, as soon as you can.